Okay. So, my people, my name na yours truly again. Ajibola Ismail Oluwadamilola Omoti Afoja Kwainde. Una go permit me make I do the unusual today actually, and I go want speak like good English this time around. I no go want put down for pidgin. Yeah, and na because of the way the sensitivity of the matter and how the matter take day, I go actually one situation where I go feel express myself well. Yeah. So the discourse today is going to actually be about the I don't know if I'll call it the news about Tiwa Savage's um, sex tape video. Yeah. So I would want to address the psychological implication of some of our reactions and the action itself. Yeah, so first let's try to address. I'm going to pick it one after the other. So I'm going to pick it from the point where I had some people asking, even if it's a mistake, why does she have to make a sex video? Now, the thing is, it's a different world entirely with sexuality, which I would want to address later. It's a topic I would want to address, but in the other series where I would be talking about, I'll be using pidgin English to teach psychology. But the thing is, we must understand that people exist with different sexual fantasies. In psychology, we acknowledge a group of people, although that is under abnormal psychology, called exhibitionists. Exhibitionists are the type of people who would want to intentionally portray their genitals or show their genitals to honest or innocent what's it called innocent passerbys, and the reaction these people get is what gives them sexual pleasure. Another set of people are the fetish, the people who we categorize the abnormal behavior under fetishism. Now, fetishism includes you making or gaining sexual pleasure from inanimate, animal, or basically more we see them more inanimate objects. Now there was a news I saw online, and it was a discourse on one of the radio station talking about a white woman who got a neighbor arrested because she was spreading her undies where her husband could see it. It was funny how the radio station made it a joke, and people called in insulting the man, saying that the man is the woman doesn't have stuff to do. Yeah, fine. I would acknowledge it that in this part of the world, we really are not aware of some of this problem. But now, imagine the wife is aware that her husband has a psychological problem where he gains sexual urge from looking at the undies of a female. Obviously, that is a threat to her marriage. So she has every right to have reported it to the police. And we don't know if at the time she approached her neighbor to explain the condition of her husband to her, which maybe the neighbor still did not stop spreading her undies where she was spreading it. I mean, it's one side of the story that we might not really know, and I don't want to be judgmental. But now, I am not saying Tiwa's act is falls into exhibitionism or fetishism or a sex video. Sorry, don't let me say, because it was actually a partner who made the video. Now, the main thing here is Tiwa is over 30 years old, if I'm correct. I think 41, which I want to believe that if it's the picture we saw attached to the video, if that is the same guy she was having sex with, then the guy is also above the age of having sex. Say 35, he should be in his late 30s, if I'm not mistaken. And this brings me to the point that both of them have every right to express their sexuality how what they want. If making a video, maybe a sex tape, was a way of them spicing up their sexual relationship, then it is absolutely fine and nothing stops them from making that video. Now, we would now move to, sorry, I'm trying to put my phone on airplane mode so I don't receive a call while this is going on. Okay, yeah. So that is one side. So I want to use that as a justification that they have every right to have made the video. Now, talking about why the video leaked. Fine, there are two sides to that story as well. It could be a mistake, and just as some people are saying, it could be for her chasing clout. But both parts have their own psychological implication. Now, for the implication of chasing clout, now, there is a concept in psychology called reinforcement, which means when we reinforce a particular behavior, there is a possibility that that behavior is going to occur again. Now, the reason why I'm discussing this today is as a result of what happened with the ex-BBN housemate Cross, who released a nude picture. Now, let's assume Tiwa'S video leak was actually as a result of a mistake now, or is intentional for clout. We've been able to reinforce her behavior, meaning we've given it the attention it's needed the whole time. Every blog was talking about it, every newspaper, every online, every social media person was actually talking about it, which means we've reinforced that behavior. She now has maybe the publicity she wanted, the followers she wanted. But at the same time, if this had occurred, and truly as a society that we claim that we are against this act, we're supposed to have just spoken of it, say a day, and just completely forget about it. But what are we doing? We keep talking about it. That is also a concept in psychology that I might want to link to a defense mechanism called projection. Making of sex video, I can tell you, I am not telling you based on statistics, I'm not telling you based on research. A lot of us have the nudes of either ourselves or of our sexual partners on our phones, which means we are actually guilty of that act of having nudes on our mobile phones. So we shouldn't just throw stones because this person, I'm sorry, I'm trying to get that Bible quote, but I'm not getting it right here. So we shouldn't just be the first to cast the stone and stuff like that. I believe you guys get my point. So we shouldn't just be out there to throw out words at her when we're also guilty of this act. For some reason, ours have not leaked, yeah? But what if it does? Do you understand? And now bringing it to the concept of, yeah, she's a social figure. Yes, she's a social figure. And I would want to talk about that in the part of of it being a mistake, not being intentional. Now, let's now go to the part of the act, the whole act being intentional. Fine, if it's intentional, then let's look at it from this angle. I'm sorry, that's if it's, let's look at it from the angle of if it's a mistake. Now, if it's a mistake, number one, we are affecting her. Forget it. I can tell you that when we're all in school, like in our secondary schools and all, where we practically are we happen to be the clown of the school, we're actually not happy with the way it was, being that everybody has to say something bad about you. Then now imagine the whole of Nigeria is trying to say something bad about you. It's crazy. We are messing up her mental health. that is, let's assume it was a mistake. Now, some people came up with the idea of, yeah, she's a social figure and all and all. She's a social figure. That doesn't mean she doesn't have rights to her life. She's a social figure. She eats the way you and I eat. She baits. She has sex. Yes, she does. She makes love to whoever she pleases. It's her decision. And that doesn't, the fact of her being a celebrity, we shouldn't push it away from her life. She has a life to live. So she's a social figure doesn't mean she shouldn't have a nude picture of herself on her phone or her partner having a video of it. So it could be a fantasy. It could be what they fantasize about, having maybe a video after having a video to show maybe a sexual act and stuff. It could be their decision. So we shouldn't just go out there to throw out words at this lady. I am not reporting any of this based on my own take. I'm trying to just look at all of this from the psychological angle, because here is the progression. First, she might want to deny it, that she doesn't care. But according to Nigerian Tribune, October 24th, 2021, I read one headline that it has cost her losing up to 4 endorsements. I mean, we know a lot of these artists live by endorsements. They don't live by their music alone. They live by endorsement. So this is the implication, or this is the progression. Now she has lost 4 endorsements. Her net worth is probably going to drop, which means she might not be able to keep up with the so-called celebrity lifestyle that she has set for herself. Now, if she can't do that, that would affect her career. And definitely, Tiwa is the kind of person whose personality is music. So stopping her, affecting her musical career, is definitely going to affect her as a person. And when it does, definitely there is no way we're not going to put in certain psychological issues such as depression. This is someone who is probably signed in on an endorsement of, say, 5 years, 10 years. So I don't think she would intentionally want to chase the clout. This now on the assumption that she did it intentionally. She released the video for clout. Is she going to? Do you think she would really want to drop that video to chase the clout and lose 4 endorsements? Nah, I don't think anybody who is actually seeing his or her career as a business would want to do that. So really, I would still want to welcome in people's idea on this, and definitely it's going to be like, DM me, let me know what you think. If I still need other issues to clarify on this, because personally, I actually don't like the way we Nigerians are going about this. Because if truly it was a mistake, we are trying to reinforce a bad behavior, I wouldn't be surprised if practically 80% of our upcoming artists now begin to release nude pictures just because they want to chase clout and gain popularity. Similar is the case of Cross. I wouldn't. Then if it's a mistake, I beg you, we are really affecting Tiwa. Her personality is at stake. Her mental health is at stake. I beg you. She has already lost 4 endorsements, and it's because we keep making it a topic. If as it happened, we never spoke of it, or probably say just a day and that was it. I understand some blogs are trying to make name, some individuals are trying to gain publicity as well as a result of this, but please, we should also be sensitive with what we put out there, how we comment, and how we push for things. I beg you. So on that note, I would want to say I would end this video, and yeah, thank you very much for listening.